Hey, what's going on, guys? Today is October 16th, 2016. I'm going to be going over this week's trade ideas. First one on the list for this week is Uvxy. Now, I rarely put ETFs on my weekly trade ideas, but I feel like there's some volatility in the market and possibly some more volatility to come this week. And so I definitely want to put this on your radar. I feel like if the chart's in the $17 range, it's worth a test here. Chart obviously came over the downtrend line once, pulled right back into it, and it closed right over it. But the 13 EMA sits about $17. So about $17 becomes the line in the sand for right now. And if the chart was to hold the $17, I feel like you can try to play the bounce off of it and ultimately try to break this 1917 range here, and the chart then would like to come up to this $22 range. Now again, this is a volatility trade, and so if it doesn't set up, don't worry about it. If it does set up though, or if it does come into that range, definitely consider it, as it may be something that can really pay off. Next on the list is blue. Now, obviously, strong sell-off candle on Friday's session. Ibb continues to be weak, leaves all the other biotechs just hanging here, and much like all of them, they are in an oversold position. So what I'm looking for on most of the biotechs is I'm actually looking for some sort of a bounce, some sort of a retracement. So I'd like to see this one push back up to about $59.30, come right back into this zone over here, and then find some rejection here into this range. So right about $59.30. I'd like to be short on blue if it doesn't obviously break through and hold for support. I'd like to be short on blue and bring it back down. I think then it breaks this low area here, as this was a strong sell-off candle, and the chart does have some range down under 52. Even if you go out further out just a little bit, there's an uptrend over here right about there. That's where the chart should want to come back down to about 55. Now if it breaks that uptrend over here, then the chart's going to come back into this range, which is going to be pretty deep into the chart. Next on the list is ions. Now I played this one a couple times. Now this is right at the double bottom where I caught it the last time on a nice swing. It's right back into this range here. Fill the entire gap once again, but the chart remains where it cannot make a higher high over here. So what's going to happen is I feel like we're going to get a bounce off this range. Obviously stochastics are oversold here a little bit. Again, another biotech trade. I feel like we get a bounce off of this one. Maybe we can try to see if it bounces, and if it can manage to get back through this 50% retracement range over here, then we can look for some sort of a move on it. So obviously it would have to get back through $32.87 range, and then you can keep on with the long trade and add into it for the possible breakout then. But if it comes up to that range and gets rejected, obviously that's your short. That would be your full size add, and then the chart's going to want to come back and test here. So for right now, I remain short term bullish. If the chart was to stay above the range, I add into it, play for a breakout on this one. Jdst, another ETF here, but I feel like the chart's holding up, and so it's actually just consolidating into this range, and I feel like gold does have a little bit on the downside to go still. So I'm playing the miners, the miners bear ETF here at Jdst this week. As long as the chart can stay above this 50 EMA, which sits right about $32.50 here, I'm going to be long in some of this, and obviously I'm going to use this 13 EMA as some sort of a range to keep it over. Now it's more so for me on this one. It's a very volatile trade. Again, it's not for the everyday traders. If you've never played ETFs, or if you're not accustomed to playing 3-time ETFs, just don't bother trading it at all. I'm just bringing it up for anybody that is interested in playing this sort of stuff. And so anyways, as long as it stays over the 50 EMA and consolidates in this range, I'm bullish on the chart. If it flags and it pushes out, ultimately needs to bring over this $37 range, and if it does get over a $37 range, you can see a quick upside on this one if it breaks out that range. Next on the list is Abbv. Okay, so another biotech, another bearish engulfing, another one that there's an area for support here. Now I'm finding a lot of these biotech charts are finding areas where there can be possible supports coming up, and so I'm not necessarily bullish on any of them right now, but I will definitely, have a reason to start being bullish on some of them soon. So Abbv remains one of them also that's on a side chart for watch. And that range on Abbv comes down to about $59.39. That's why I would look for a long on this one. And then I try to see obviously if it can come up to this downtrend range, which obviously a chart have been getting rejected by a range over here. So ultimately a chart would need to come up to this range, break a 50% retracement over here, again similarly to that ions trade, and then we'll see what it does. So for right now I expect a quick pullback on it down to $59.39 range. Take it long off of there, see if you can come back above 62. If it doesn't hold, then you can play for the possible flag breakout here. Love LUV. Inverted hammer at a resistance area right here. So what I'd like to do is I would like to be short off of that area, and so I'm feeling like we can get a rejection off of this. The chart closed here at $42.32. I'm feeling if it pops it up to $42.63, watch for a small head and shoulder, bring it back down into the $40 range or less. If the chart continues, obviously you keep bringing it down as much as I can, and there would be an uptrend here to respect, which is right about here. So if the chart was to come down to that range and breaks the little uptrend that it has right now, then you can add into that short and continue that more to the downside. Himx. Now this is a nice little higher low trend here. MACD's flattening out and curling up. Some volumes coming in this range. Stochastics are oversold, so I like Himx here. As for a possible swing trade, it doesn't really have huge range, but the chart right now doesn't have huge risk either. So if you can get it down into this $8.70, $8.60 range, grab some and play it down with the stop down in the $8.40 or $8.30 range. Try to see if you get it up to $9.30. That'll be the retracement area, and then you'll also be coming into some serious resistance in that area right here. So as the chart makes its way up to that range over here, it's obviously going to find area of resistance. Now if the chart was to break through that strong area of resistance, then you should get a nice enough support to come back and try to fill that gap up top there. Imax. Okay. Chart broke over the 50 EMA with support and volume. Stochastics are a little oversold here. Overbought here, sorry. MACD just crossed over. I feel like the chart does have a nice range to move up, but I'd like a pullback down to the 50 EMA. Sits you at about $29.70 range. If that range can hold for the pullback, I'd like to be long off of that range. Then you're going to come into some resistance over here. You got the same resistance coming through all the way over here. So that'll put you right to about $31.20. If the chart can get through that range, you'll definitely get up to the 32.50s, 33s possibly on that chart. Obviously the chart has to hold this 50 EMA here. You'd like to play it off of a retracement area. If you did a 50% retracement on that move off of Friday's move, you'd probably get a number a little bit less than where that is, right? Somewhere about $29.45. So that would be the ideal entry on it, but I'm thinking even if you get $29.70, you can still try to play it on the long side. Now this is a far-fetched one, Bjri, but I found something on this chart that just may be a little bit interesting. As for right now, there's a bearish engulfing down at the bottom over here. Obviously, a chart has printed, not an engulfing, sorry, it's a bullish Pearson pattern down at the bottom here. Sorry about that. The chart have shown bullish formations before and obviously never got to really hold them. But volume's coming in here. Stochastics pointed up. MACD's flattened out. But what's interesting to me is on the monthly chart here, if you go out a little bit, you can find yourself looking at a very interesting uptrend on the monthly chart. And so that's what I came across, and that's what I'm looking at for right now for any kind of support here into this chart, and that sits right there. So as for right now, I do like it in that range, and if the chart can actually hold off this Pearson pattern, I'd like to be long off of it and see what we can get. You can obviously play the miniature downtrend here as a kind of add point, and that'll put you at an add point over here, and then obviously a target over here. Alright, so anyways, that's the list for this week. And for any of you guys that that don't follow me, just remember that it's at Iceman. Hold on, let me just bring this Twitter thing up. Okay, that's it. Yeah. Okay, so it's at Iceman Trading on Twitter for you guys that don't follow me. Then you'll find links to everything. I'm also doing a webinar this week, 10/18 free webinar at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna send the link out in a few for those that are interested in the free webinar this weekend. And that's pretty much it for this week. Take care.